Hey guys, it's Nelly. Welcome back to my channel. This is a little bit of a weird start for me because I don't know if you can notice, but I have eyeshadow literally everywhere. It's all over my eyes. It's all over my whole entire face. This video was supposed to be a review slash first impression on the Kylie Jenner Nice Holiday palette. This is what the palette looks like on the inside, and it just was a hot mess. A literally hot mess. Honestly, the Subculture palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills performed better than this eyeshadow palette. I hate to bash a brand. I do. I don't ever post a video bashing a brand, and I don't want you guys to think this is me bashing the brand because I love Kylie Cosmetics and I think they have amazing products, but when it comes to their eyeshadows, I'm just never happy. I have purchased so many of her palettes and I continue to say this. They need to improve their eyeshadow formula. I don't know what it is, but it just did not work for me and it makes me really sad. And you guys will see exactly what happened. I tried to do 2 different looks with this palette before I ended up having to give up because it just looked so incredibly bad. There was a point where I was trying to pack on the shadow to kind of somewhat make it work, and it just completely came off. Kind of like a bittersweet, and I say this about all of her palette reviews, but some of the eyeshadows in here are absolutely gorgeous. The shade Blizzard, that shadow performed really well. The shade Ginger Snap, another one that performed really well, and Holly performed amazing, but Wonderland and Hot Cider are a complete and utter miss. Those eyeshadows I'm speechless because of how bad they performed on my eyes, which makes me really sad because, again, I always try to give her the benefit of the doubt with her eyeshadow palettes, but that's it. I think I'm done buying a Kylie eyeshadow for a long time. It's literally a first impression and a review on this palette, and I think I wouldn't be myself if I exclude this because I feel like so many of you guys bought the palette, so many of you guys are expecting a tutorial from me using the palette, and unfortunately that is just not gonna happen, and you will see why in just a second. I tried 2 different looks, and it just did not work. And at this point, I am frustrated. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing with makeup, which that is not the case because I have a ton of experience, not trying to toot my own horn, but I have worked with many different formulas. I have worked with many different colors. I have worked with many different eye shapes, primers, pigments, and that has never happened to me. So I don't know if it's just that I got a bad palette. I don't know if the formula on mine is just different. I don't know, but it did not work, and you guys will see that now. Let's go ahead and get into the 2 failed eyeshadow looks so that you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, let's get into look number 1. So my eyelids are primed, set, and ready to go. I'm taking the shade Wonderland, and at first I thought it was a brush. As you can see, I am about to switch it because as soon as it went on, the color went on very patchy. So I switched over to a Sigma E25, which is my ride or die. I have used this brush with pretty much any and every look I do. As you can see, I am not getting any pigmentation. I am moving the brush around and nothing is coming off towards my lid. So I decided to just get more and more product and begin to pack it on. I was going to try a different technique for this look. I saw Naked Tutorials use a darker shade first and then blend it out. And that's what I was going to try to do for this video. So as you can see, the more that I pack the brush, the more color it removes. It's really weird. Has never happened to me. So I just kept packing on color, trying to see if I can get it nice and pigmented and even. I know that red shades are very hard to formulate, but you know, it's Kylie. She has a couple different palettes. I feel like by now she should have mastered the color. So once I got it to somewhat of a nice pigmentation, I went ahead and moved over to the other eye, and as you can see, I did have to blow quite a lot throughout the whole entire process because I did get a little bit of fallout. Well, actually a little bit more than a little bit, but you can see that it's a little patchy and the color is not even. So once I somehow got it a little bit more even than when we first started, I took a clean blending brush and I started to blend out the edges just to begin to kind of smoke out the look, make it a little bit more smoky, more blown out. And as you can see, the color is not moving in the crease, like it's not moving at all. But you can see on the lid, the color that did fall on the lid, it's just taking it off. So the color is actually being removed from the lid. So you can see that's when the patchiness, and look at that. Look at how patchy that looks. I use a Tarte Shape Tape concealer to prime my eyelids, which is what I usually use. I did not change anything for this particular video. It's exactly the same, and it was just not working out. Look at the hot mess. It was just too hot of a mess. So I'm like, okay, let's try to blend out the crease a little bit with Ginger Snap, just that yellow shade in the palette. I went back in with that clean blending brush, and it was not doing anything. You can see in my face, I'm disappointed. Look at that crease. Just look at how ugly the crease looks. I was like, okay, let's wipe it off. Let's start fresh. Let's forget this look ever happened. And let's try look number 2. So I was a little bit happier for this one. I'm like, okay, I got this. Let's do this. So I went in with Ginger Snap one more time using a clean blending brush. I did not use the same brushes that I used for the first look. I wanted to clean start all around, and I applied that all over the crease, and I was happy with that. Okay, I was a little bit more excited. It's gonna work out. And then I went in with the color Holly, which is a little bit more of a coral orangey shade. That color performed really well as well. I did have to pack on a couple layers in order to get it to a nice pigmented orangey color, but it did work nice. It was okay. Again, a little patchy, a little dry, but the eyeshadow is pretty matte, so I was like, okay, that's normal. I can totally overlook that. So I went back in with the Ginger Snap just to blend everything out. And then I started to see that certain areas were just a little bit darker than others. So I went in with Wonderland, and this is when I tried to begin to smoke it out. As you can see in the crease, again, it goes super duper dark, but when it's on the lid, on the outer corner, it starts to fade out. And you will see that throughout the whole entire process, how it's more pigmented in certain spots and really light in other spots. And that's, again, it's something with the formula that it's just not performing well. I went in with Holly just to kind of blend out the edges, and again, once I began to blend, that color just disappeared. That dark brown shade just completely disappeared. So I'm like, okay, let's take Hot Cider, which is that really dark brown shade. Let's pack it on the lid. Let's try to even things out. And once you pack it, it does go on really pigmented, but then once you begin to blend it out, which you can see, that's it. The color is gone. I go back in, I start to pack on some more, try to make it even once again. But with the smoky eye, you have to blend. So if the eyeshadow is going to blend away when you do go in and try to blend, then what is the point of that, you know? So I did get a little bit of fallout, so I grabbed a makeup wipe and I wiped all of the excess off. And once again, I went back in, and okay, here, look, you can see how there is a certain area in the outer corner that is just missing pigment. So I went in and I started to cut the crease. Well, not really the crease. I wanted to do kind of like a halo eye. And I began to just carve out the center of my lid with some concealer, and I used a MAC 242 to do so, and I just began to carve it out. And as you can see, the more the clips keep passing on, you can see the outer corner is just keeps fading and fading some more. So I go back in with the brown one more time, trying to make it nice and even and dark and pigmented, and nothing. It just ended up sticking to the concealer and just nothing happened. So I went in with the Kevyn Aucoin Electro Pop palette, which I loved, by the way. I grabbed those two bottom shades, the two blue shades. I pretty much mix them together, and I apply that to my lid, to the area where I had applied the concealer. And I wanted to do kind of like a blue-brown look. So I did go in with the shade Blizzard from her palette, which, by the way, it's absolutely gorgeous. But the whole palette is not worth it for this one shade. You can definitely find a dupe for this. but it is a beautiful color and it did perform really well with a base under. On its own, the color is pretty sheer. So I just packed this color right on top, and then I'm like, okay, let's try to make the outer corner even. So I went in with a pencil brush, a little bit more of Wonderland and Hot Cider, and that's it. Look at that. It just came off completely. Very disappointed, very frustrating. It just completely came off. Okay, so at this point, I am officially giving up. Look, I just don't know what else to do. And I feel like the more color that I add, the more product it removes. Like, it's literally removing product. And I don't know what's going on. So I think, look at this. This is not good. I've been blending for the past hour. Like, it's 7:23. I started this video at 5:30. I've been trying to make this look work, and it's just not gonna happen. So if Kylie Cosmetics watches this video, please don't think that I am trying to bash your brand. I love your brand. I think you make one of the best liquid lipsticks. I love your pigments. I love your face products. But please, please, please work on your eyeshadow formula. I don't like the eyeshadow formula. They don't perform well. They're very dry, they're very patchy, and I'm really sad. I'm really, really, really sad. So I'm sorry that this video was a bust, you guys. I promise that I have a ton of makeup tutorials coming. I know that I haven't uploaded a makeup tutorial in a little while, but I promise you I have so many makeup tutorials coming up now for the holiday season, for holiday parties. This was supposed to be one of them, and it just went to shit, pretty much. Yeah, I'm sorry. I hope you understand. Honestly, this palette was a miss. If you didn't get it, you didn't miss out on anything special. And if you did pick it up, let me know how yours performed. Maybe I got a bad palette. Maybe my palette is more dry than other palettes. I don't know, but I'm just really sad right now because I had really high expectations for the palette because it is gorgeous. But yeah, it just didn't work out for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash off my face because I have a ton of product everywhere. Like, it's literally everywhere. I wish I could show you guys my thigh. There is pigment everywhere on my thigh because I really tried to make this work, and I'm really, really sad. So yeah, I love you. Thank you for watching, and I promise you to be back with a bomb ass makeup tutorial. Mwah.